entertainment, current events, and Hollywood. Don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
Lemoyne Alexander. How you guys doing?
Good. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm super excited to talk to you because first of all, love your style. You're so cool. I want to know a little bit, but for me, I love going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory in life. Like our little habits we pick up along the way when we're kids kind of follow us as we're adults. So tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like? And how did you get started in doing what you're doing now?
This goes way back when I was a kid. My family was always into music. My dad was a drummer. My mom was a singer. Me and my brothers, my dad used to put together like the Jackson 5 with us.
Yeah.
Put all of the kids together, and it was growing up music all my life. So I've been in music since I would say 7, 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So you had supportive parents when you were like, yeah, I'm going to do this music thing. Like, when did you know you wanted to give this like a stab of I want to definitely, this is what I want to do?
When I was in 7th, 8th grade, when I
Wow.
was a kid, what happened was I got really hooked up into the guitar. It really resonated in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine that was in my 7th grade classroom, his name is Cassius. And what he did was he kidnapped me from school and took me to his house. And his father was a part of the soul group Mel and Tim.
Okay.
And oh my goodness, his house was full with instruments. Didn't know how to play nothing. I just was just there, And one day I got suspended from school, being a rambunctious kid.
Right.
And my mom sent me to my father's house, and I did not want to be there. I mean, I was like going crazy, crawling the walls, And then what happened? One day I decided that I was going to figure out what I want to do, and I went into the closet, and I noticed that there was a guitar in there. And tacked it, took it out, tore it apart, put it back together, and could not play it. It had like 1 or 2 strings on there. And so I just sat there just playing it and playing it and playing it and mimicking everybody and memorizing what I did, watching TV and learning and hearing the radio. And that was it.
I love it. Self-taught. I always say self-taught is always the best way. Look, I think school is great, but there's something about self-taught. You just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like a different feel. It just sounds different.
I have a story for you.
Yeah.
And I don't get off track, but when I was in high school, I was full on. By this time, I had gotten my birthday gift happened to be a Fender Strat from my brother.
Nice.
And I had picked up every funky lick there was. And I just happened to take a class in my music class in school, and my music teacher hated me because I held the guitar wrong. I held it like a rocker. I played all of the chords wrong, but I played it like a rocker, and she failed me.
Oh no!
She literally failed me. Yes,
what?
Because I didn't do it the structural way. Like the acoustic, holding it between your legs and doing it all. I had mine low to the ground and I was loud with it. She failed me.
Oh no!
And it's surprising that I ended up still doing this and and I'm flourishing in it now. You know, it was always a journey, but I
Yeah.
never gave up on it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I always say, like I feel like failure, I guess you could call that, like she said, she failed you, is always like it's like a good thing sometimes. Like I think it's we learn so much out of failure.
Oh
And
yeah,
you kind of get to know like what you're made out of when it's like the one door closes. It's like, you know what? No, I can make my own door. So I
that's
find that
right.
so cool.
That is so true.
I love that. So let's get into your new single, um, Insecurity. So
Yes.
what is that about? What was your inspiration? And why that title?
Uh, this was something personal that I wrote for me.
Yeah.
You know, I like to do when I write a lot of songs, and I've written a lot of songs for a lot of people, including my first two albums and everything. But I was going through a really bad period in my life, and I didn't know how to get out of it. And usually, when I'm going through these emotional situations, I write songs.
Hmm.
It's like therapy to me. And
Hmm.
sometimes when I have these episodes, I go listen to it. It makes me feel better. So as I was creating the song, I was going through some emotional times when I did the music. And then one evening, around about, I'll never forget, it was around 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. I was just having everything was bad that day.
Oh,
And I went into the studio and it just hit me. I didn't have to think about it, turned the mic on, everything came out one take.
wow.
And it's been like that ever since. And I stayed focused on it. And I just, you know, the song wrote itself to me
I
personally.
love that. I love that. Do you feel like it was like you said it was you were going do you feel like you felt complete once you well better once you finished it? And did you feel like it was a very therapeutic?
It was therapeutic because once I finished it, I didn't want to hear it no more. You know, I think I left town and then I came back and I popped it in and I listened to it. And, you know, when I got to that point, I was like, man, this song is really beautiful. It helped me to understand my securities and helped me to work with them, you know. And then
Mm.
when I signed with Wicked, they heard that was one of the first songs they heard, and it was like, we got to get this out.
Wow, I love that. Love that. Do you so that's amazing. Like that you used something that you were going through and you put it out creatively, and instead of, you can, I mean, anybody can take something negative and just stay in that place. But I love
Yeah,
that you instead of like letting that weigh on you, you put that out into the world creatively. And I think that's brilliant. And I think that's so important. And, that could help someone else, um,
yeah, that's
you
true.
know, and their
It
storyline.
helped me. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, it helped me a lot. You know, every
Yeah.
time I got to, especially there was this part in the song where it drops and you hear the background, you know, the smooth vocals and everything, and that really helped me. It helped me to understand that life is blooming, you know, and I can go forward, and that's what I did, you know. And as the song was released, you know, I didn't know that it was therapeutic for a lot of my fans. I got new fans because of this song, you know.
I love that. I love that. I feel like too, do you feel like men um are like I know music now, like women are always emotional on when it comes to music, it seems like, but you don't really hear a lot of men doing that. And when you do, it's like
Oh,
super
oh,
refreshing.
trust me, there are men out here who are emotional. They're not gonna show it, but you know, we
I
got to say,
love
hey,
it.
I don't mind. I'm emotional, you know,
I
especially
love
that
it.
in times when you are literally going through something, you can be emotional. And trust me, every man out here has emotional side in him. I know this for a fact.
No, I love that.
Man,
um, do you feel like, you know, this song that you, and not just this song, but just, where you are in your music career, like is there, do you feel like everything that you've worked up to get to this point, you're like, all right, I'm in a great place? Or are you still like aiming for more? What are you looking for in the next 2 years?
Well, after I finished the song, we went into I'm just constantly writing. I
Okay.
write all the time. I write at night, daytime, in my sleep, when I wake up, wherever I'm at, I'm writing.
Right.
And when Insecurity came out, I was just like, okay, it's out. Next song. And I didn't know that it was going to resonate with everybody. I mean, there are TikTok challenges all over the world with this
Wow.
song.
Wow.
And it's just blowing. And I want to thank all the TikTok challengers for doing it. It's great to see that you guys are actually exposing some of your insecurities on the song. And I appreciate that because I expose my insecurity by making it.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I have more songs to come. The next one coming out is called Daydreaming. That's another one that I particularly wrote because I wanted to take myself out of what's going on in the world today.
Mm.
So when I daydream in another world, another situation, another place, away from everything.
Yeah, I love
So I
that.
wrote that song too, which is the second one that's coming out.
Awesome. Awesome. What's your creative process like? Are you super involved in everything? Like, are you in the studio with all the like, are you there doing the instrumentals? Are you like hovering over like the background vocals? Are you just let people do their thing and then you just stick to your lane?
Well, okay. My work, the way I do my work is, I people have called me all kinds of geniuses. I don't look at it like that. When I go in the studio, I let my heart and soul just take over.
Yeah.
And so far, with Insecurities and the rest of the songs on the album, I wrote them, the lyrics, I did the guitars, the bass, the drums, the keyboard, background vocals.
Wow.
I played every instrument on the song.
Wow.
And it amazed me after I finished listening to it, like, wow, this sounds like a full band did the song. And I literally took out at least maybe 6-7 hours writing Insecurity, the music, playing each instrument, all the guitars, the bass, and everything. That's, for some reason, it's been like that my entire career.
Wow.
Wow,
That's incredible.
I don't depend on nobody. I stopped depending on people and said, let me just learn how to do it myself. And it
I feel
worked
like
for me.
that's so true. That's real. I think a lot of times, I was talking to a filmmaker friend of mine, and she was just telling me how she hired someone to do it, to edit something, and they kind of flaky, and it's unfortunate that and then it's like, well, I don't want to do that, but I guess I have to learn just in case, because if I
Yeah,
want to create something, I gotta learn all.
better off doing it yourself because that's the only. I mean, if you really look at it, only you know what what it sounds like, what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So why not learn to do it yourself?
Right.
It didn't take me long. Now, guitar was always my main instrument, but as I was progressing in guitars, I was in a family band, a couple of more bands, and every time we get into a band, the bass player is not playing what I want him to play. So I learned how to do it myself and then teach him, and then he learned, and then we go into the studio, same thing. So, so I took all of that energy and put it in my own records. I said, you know what? I'm just going to record and make all my own songs and just do it myself.
Nice.
And I've been blessed. God has blessed me.
God is great. Is there any like artists, living or dead, that if you could, I don't know, have a cup of coffee and just pick their brain, who would it be and why?
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one.
I would love to sit across the table with him and ask him a lot of questions about the guitar and what made him come up with those riffs, how he come up with those riffs, and
Genius.
what tone is his favorite tone, and the pedals that he uses, and just a million questions of he was my idol growing up.
I
And
love that.
yeah, Jimi Hendrix, and he still is today. You know, every time I do a guitar solo on any of my songs, I think of Jimi Hendrix. What would Jimi Hendrix do? You know, but
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's a
that's
great answer. It's a good one. I think, it's just like I think about those artists, those legends that, they can't be recreated. Like they were once in a lifetime, like your Michael Jacksons, your Jimi Hendrix,
oh yeah,
those kind of people, Whitney Houston. You're thinking
oh
like, I don't see anyone doing that anymore. I think it's just,
no,
you
there's
know,
no when
music's
you
different.
know I got I got a phone call from one of the producers and when I was working on my album and when they heard Insecurities, as well as some of the other reporters that I did interviews with, they said that Insecurities is like going back to basics and listening to real music again.
Yeah.
And I really, all of my music is like that. I really wasn't trying to do it. It just, what came out of me is
Yeah.
this is where I was going. I didn't want to go to all of the drum machines and all of the high tech computer instruments. I'm a guitar player, a real instrumental guy. I
Mhm.
play all instruments and I just want to play them. That's it.
Yeah.
And all I did was just play. And
I,
that's
and
what
I
came.
I love it. And I think there's some, literally, I think I think there's Dr. Dre, he was talking about that recently about how back in the day, they would make their sounds with, like from the trash can for like the beats,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
get a certain sound. And then, opposed to nowadays, it's like, everyone's using digital and which is great, but it's not the same.
It's
Um,
never going to be the same. That's why I'm trying to bring it back. I'm trying
yeah.
to take us back to where the basics of music will be more enjoyed today,
Thank you.
as it would be. I mean, I'm hoping that there's a trend that most musicians will follow, and we can get back to the basics of what real music is really all about, and that's enjoying it and listening to it.
Yeah.
Not the same thing, repetitive instruments that are constantly playing throughout songs. No, every bass riff that I do is different
Yeah.
on each note. It's never the same. Every guitar riff that I mean, even my solos, I don't do nothing the same. My
Mm,
vocals, and my guitar solos when I'm laying them down on majority of my songs are one take. I don't go
right.
back and cut and edit and paste. Nothing. I play it straight through.
Wow. That's
So you get
incredible.
that. So you,
No, and I think that's absolutely amazing that you do it in like straight through because I feel like music now, like, opposed to when my parents growing up or, the music that came out of like artists that came up were just so different than the artists that are here now. Like, and I think it's great, you got to change with time and times have changed, but do you feel like music's changing for the better in favor of the artist?
I'm listening to some new artists that, this October London is a great guy, he's back to the basics. What's this other, these two duo guys, they're doing real music. Everybody is doing real music. When we start respecting what music really is and where it comes from, that's when we'll enjoy it more.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the young guys and the teenagers who don't know how to play an instrument and
Right.
they go into the computer and they create songs. I'm not knocking that out. I mean, to them it's probably, hobby or something. But for people like me who literally learned how to do this growing up as a kid and through everything into my music, I basically can do whatever they're doing, and whatever I do is, it's all music to me, but I can play every instrument.
I love
And
that.
I've tried all of the computer stuff. It doesn't work for me,
Yeah.
because there's no real emotion to it. There's no feeling involved,
Yeah.
as would be you really playing a guitar or playing a piano all the way straight through without editing and cutting and pasting and all that. Now play it straight through.
Yeah.
You know, there's a real live feel to it. Even if it has to be computer, just play it straight through. If you're a musician, play it. That's why we practice.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. Absolutely right. I have a fun question for you, and there's no wrong answer. But the 3 levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
It would be respect.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, definitely respect.
Why respect?
Well, I want to be well known for my craft more so than money and power. Money and power comes with respect. I look at respect first. You got to earn it. And for me, when you earn respect, then that's when all of the gifts come. That's when all of the pleasures of life come to you, because people respect you now, as opposed to starting off with money and power. Just because you have money and power doesn't mean you're going to have respect.
Absolutely. That's true. That's true. Great answer. I was reading an article about just creatives today doing it the indie way, and then creatives getting on and getting signed to a label or whatever. And you hear about those 360 deals, those deals that people get, really, bad deals, and they're thinking, oh, I got $1 million. And then it's like, oh my God, I have to take out X, Y, and Z out of all that and pay the labels back. And so you don't think it's actually not a good deal. So do you feel like indie artists, people that are entrepreneurs that do it themselves, are better off versus the people that get signed?
Yeah, the big labels.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two sides to that. I mean, for me, I like working. I get the freedom to do whatever I want. And sometimes, the financial end of it is not as great as it would be if you was with a major label, but at least you have the freedom.
Right.
And for me, it's all about the freedom. I don't want to sign to a major label who takes complete control over your destination. I'm talking about the time you wake up to where you go to bed, to where you go and everything. No, if I had to sign with a label, my stipulation would be just give me the freedom to be creative. Just stay out of my way. And my record company, Wicked Entertainment, they give me that.
That's good.
They never give me any problems. Lemoyne, come up whatever, do whatever, we like whatever you do. So, I just did, and I don't have no deadline or anything. I be creative whenever I want to, and I just do it. And as we were just talking about, they respect me. It has nothing to do with me having money or power. I was inducted into the California Music Hall of Fame this year.
Congratulations.
And for all my contributions to the music business, that, the records that I've produced for many, many artists over the last, decade. But in retrospect for that, I didn't want to be a millionaire. I just want to be respected. And that's what these guys did. Everybody that I worked with, they respected me. I earned their respect. Now, the accolades from my career is building where I can be a potential millionaire. Not that I'm looking forward to it. It's just, the more money you make, the more problems you have.
And more money, more problems, right?
Yeah. So, I like where I sit in my life.
Right.
And having a major label like that could build you so high and then bring you back down, and I don't want to get in that type of thing. I just want to be in a situation where I'm comfortable.
Absolutely.
And indie labels will help you. Some indie labels will have your back.
Absolutely.
And as long as you're doing what you do, you're going to be happy and they're going to be happy. And, 50-50, 360s, whatever kind of deals they are, at least you can say you have the freedom to be creative.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Freedom to be creative. What do you want people to walk away with after listening to this song?
That's a good question. Basically, I would want people to walk away after listening to the song to feel like I fulfilled the answers to their insecurities. Insecurity is like you know, that's one thing you can't get over. You can't get away from, and you can't hide from.
Right.
I mean, we all have them. You know, we don't make light of them, but in my song, I did. By creating the song, I expressed my insecurities. So when I look at all of the TikTok challengers that use the song, you know, I see things that they probably wouldn't have never did if it wasn't for the song.
Right.
You know, I see them, they see them. They don't have any problems with exposing how they feel about their insecurities. And so for me, that makes me feel good that I was able to help them bring out their insecurities and feel comfortable about it.
Absolutely. I love it. That's beautiful. I love it. What advice would you give to someone that wants to get in the music industry?
I would say learn an instrument, stick to it, always practice, and never give up, because your time will come. No matter what anybody says or whatever you're doing, stick with it. That's what I would say.
I like that. It's true. It's definitely that. It's so interesting about, like, because you know, when I look at back when I first started filmmaking, I never thought I'd be in some of the rooms that I was in. Like, I got to
Mhm.
shoot a video with Billy Idol. Like, I was like, this is crazy. But it's just
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's like, wow, I didn't stop. That's all. It's really literally just continuing to keep going. It's and there's no, I always tell people, like, I think if you just start, you know,
I know.
that's
And
it.
yeah, I mean, even in music, it can be an insecurity. You know, you
Mhm.
can have insecurities about your voice. You can have insecurities about anything.
It's
But
true.
as long as you believe in yourself and you have people around you that believe in you, don't
Yeah,
give up. Just keep going.
that's
Because
it.
we all start from somewhere, you know.
That's it. I love that.
I was blessed to have a father who believed in me. I mean, we're talking when I was a kid, he saw something in me that I didn't even see. And I still didn't see it until I was in mid-age. He used to call me a genius, and I used to hate it when he called me that. Hated it. I'm like, dude, I'm not no genius. If I was a genius, I'd be rich. I'd be this, I'd be that. He said, man, being a genius does not mean you have to have all of these things.
Right.
And I learned that. You know, being a genius is understanding who you are within yourself and sharing it with the world with no problem. And I didn't understand that until I learned how to be me again,
Mhm.
growing up, especially after when he passed,
Mhm.
because he was like my backbone. He like
Mm.
kept me going, you know, regardless of what's going on in my life, where I wanted to give up a million times. No, keep going. He kept pushing me, pushing me, and pushing me. And on his deathbed, you know, he died of cancer.
Sorry.
On his deathbed, I was in a band called State of Grace, and we were touring. And when he passed, it devastated me to I didn't want to do music anymore.
Mhm.
You know, because I was like, how am I going to do it without him? And he's not there, you know. And with his motivation, he made me feel like I could do anything. And he kept telling me, just keep going, you know, and it freaked me out, like, keep going on his deathbed.
Yeah.
So my first album, Solitude, I dedicated to him.
Oh,
And
I love that.
I sure did. Every song is mentioned him, you know, and I guess the world took um, knowledge to my career and everything, and you know they were really helpful at the induction when we had the induction. You know, they shared a lot of things with me that even I forgot about. I
Oh,
did a lot, as you can see. I did bunches of records. You know, it wasn't about records and songs and all of that to me. It was just my inner soul. I love music, and I like sharing it. I like giving it. I like playing it, you know, and it's more to me than just a song, you know.
yeah.
I take music as inspiration. I live for it. I do everything for it, you know, and my earlier career didn't do anything back for me, but as I persisted and stayed into it. As I said earlier, you know, I never gave up. And
Yeah.
with my father being behind me 100%, he never gave up on me. And he saw me do things that nobody else could do,
Yeah.
that I didn't even know that I was doing, which gave him the feeling to call me a genius. So
Love that. I love that. I'm sure your dad's looking down and proud of you and just rooting you on. I love it. I
I
love that.
think I think I made him proud.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where can people find you on social media to follow everything you got going on?
Oh my goodness, we got Instagram, Facebook, Google, Spotify, especially Apple. Just look up Lemoyne, Lemoyne Alexander. And you know, my record company is you know, they really want me to push out, you know, inbox me if you guys want some merch. You know,
Yeah, get that merch.
I got a lot of merch. Keychains, t-shirts, hats, you know, everything, you know, and I'm going to do that. You know, I want to, if we could, I'd like if you got my email, which is Lemoyne Alexander at Lemoyne Alexander 3 at gmail.com for all of my fans. If you guys want some merch, I'll be more than happy to send it to you.
Absolutely. I mean, look at you. You're too cool for me. I gotta definitely get some merch. Get the merch, everybody.
I have
Absolutely.
everything you need.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you. And please definitely come back again in the future.
No problem. No problem. Looking forward to it.
All right. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.